The sails were full of summer wind. The horizon stretched for miles. The sea reflected clouds of gold, like memories and smiles. I've crossed so many open waters, seen 100 different shores, yet every journey in my heart leads me back to yours. The harbor waits beyond the distance, with lanterns glowing warm, a peaceful refuge by the sea, sheltered from every storm. The cafe terrace still remembers the evenings we would share, coffee cups and fading sunlight, and your laughter in the air. Homeward across the blue, every wave carries me closer to the life I love, closer to the sea. Homeward across the blue, where the harbor lights appear, and every mile becomes worthwhile when I know you're near. The world is wide and beautiful, but some places hold a soul. A little harbor by the sea, where two hearts become whole. Homeward across the blue, the stars above agree that every road worth traveling leads back to where love will be. The harbor lights grow bright tonight. I'm coming home to you. Every afternoon he sat alone near the lighthouse on the hill, painting the same harbor view again and again. The sea was never quite the same. The sky changed every hour, yet he seemed convinced there was always something new worth seeing. You asked him once why he returned to the very same place every day. He smiled and pointed toward the water without saying much. Then after a while he answered, the sea never repeats itself, and neither do we. The painter near the lighthouse taught me something true, that beauty isn't found once, it's discovered again and again. The painter near the lighthouse, with brushes worn by time, captured more than harbors. He captured life. The sun would sink behind the horizon, covering everything in gold, and still he'd add one final stroke before packing up his world. The best artists notice what others hurry past. The painter near the lighthouse still colors my memory. Whenever evening falls across the sea, the canvas fades, the view remains. Nobody noticed him arriving through the busy harbor square. He carried an old accordion and a smile worn by the years. He found a spot beneath a fig tree near the fountain by the bay, then opened up the weathered case and slowly started to play. The first notes drifted through the market, soft as sunlight after rain. Conversations grew a little quieter. People smiled without explaining. Children spun around in circles. Old couples held their hands, and for a while the whole town moved to rhythms no one planned. When the accordion began to play, The afternoon changed its name. The harbor seemed a little warmer, though everything stayed the same. When the accordion began to play, time loosened its hold, and every heart became a little lighter. Every story gently told. You closed your eyes to hear it better, while the sea breeze crossed your hair. And all at once the world felt fuller than any dream could dare. Music doesn't stop the years or hold the tide at bay, but sometimes it can teach the heart how beautiful today can be. When the accordion began to play, the moment turned to gold, and somewhere in that simple tune, a lifetime quietly unfolded. The music fades, the feeling stays forever. We plan to watch the sunset from the cliffs beyond the bay, but stopped along the harbor road and somehow lost our way. A fruit vendor shared his stories, a fisherman showed his nets, an old cafe invited us inside, and neither one of us objected. The owner poured another coffee. The radio played something sweet. A little dog slept near the doorway, dreaming at our feet. The hours slipped by unnoticed, like sailboats on the tide, until someone mentioned evening, and we stepped back outside. The day we missed the sunset turned out just fine somehow, because life was happening around us far more than we knew. The day we missed the sunset taught me something true. The best moments are often found when we're not looking for them to. The sky had already darkened, the stars had started to appear, but laughter still echoed from the cafes, and music filled the pier. You looked at me and started laughing at how the whole thing went, and suddenly I understood what happiness really meant. Not every perfect day needs pictures, not every memory needs a plan. Sometimes the finest stories happen when life takes your hand. The day we missed the sunset remains my favorite one, because we found 1,000 beautiful things before the day was done. No sunset seen, yet nothing missed at all. Carried rosemary from gardens on the hill, mixing with the scent of sea salt as the harbor grew still. Tables filled the narrow terrace overlooking water blue, and every lantern seemed to glow a little brighter next to you. A waiter balanced silver trays while music floated through the square. An old crooner sang softly, like he belonged to the air. The moon appeared above the marina, the waves began to shine, and every ordinary second felt suspended in time. Rosemary and sea salt drifting through the night, turning little moments golden in the fading light. Rosemary and sea salt, simple, warm and true, like every beautiful memory I've ever made with you. The last boats rocked against their moorings, the town slowed gently toward sleep, yet the sea continued whispering promises it meant to keep. The finest evenings never hurry, they arrive and softly stay. Rosemary and sea salt still linger in my soul, like summer nights beside the harbor that never really grow old. The sea breathes slow, the lanterns glow. Every evening there was a moment so brief that most would miss it, when daylight loosened its golden grip and the harbor held its breath. The cafes hadn't lit their lanterns yet, the stars had not arrived. The sea was caught between two worlds, half awake and half alive. Then somewhere near the old seawall, a single lantern came to life, a warm glow resting on the water, like the first line of a story. You always stopped to watch it happen, as if it were a sacred thing. And somehow seeing you watch that light made the evening feel complete. The first lantern of the evening, shining softly on the bay, a promise that another beautiful night was quietly on its way. The first lantern of the evening, small against the growing dark, yet enough to change the harbor, and enough to change my heart. Soon 100 others followed, lighting terraces and streets, but none of them ever felt quite like that very first small gleam. Sometimes all it takes is one light to remind us where we are. The first lantern of the evening still glows inside my mind, like the beginning of a memory too beautiful to leave behind. One lantern, one harbor, one perfect night. One morning the harbor seemed quieter than anyone could recall. The fishing boats remained at anchor. The streets were calm and small. A blanket of summer haze hung softly on the bay, as though the town had chosen to rest a little longer that day. The cafes opened slower. The baker sang while sweeping floors. The newspaper boy took his time, stopping at familiar doors. You arrived with fresh carnations, wrapped in simple paper twine, and sat beside the open water beneath the morning shine. The day the harbor slept late, everything moved slow, like a song that didn't want to end, or a tide that wouldn't go. The day the harbor slept late, the world felt light and free, and every hour seemed made for us beside the summer sea. The sunlight climbed above the rooftops. The market found its voice. Yet even then the town continued to take its time by choice. We watched the blue horizon stretch endlessly ahead, while gulls painted lazy circles above our heads. Some days aren't meant for chasing, they're meant for simply being. The day the harbor slept late still lives inside my heart, a quiet gift from summertime that never fell apart. The harbor wakes, but slowly, like a dream. The sound of summer coffee cups resting softly on the wood, the quiet murmur of conversations making everything feel good. The harbor slowly woke around us under skies of crystal blue, and every little thing that morning seemed to lead me back to you. The baker crossed the square with bread, fresh from ovens warm and bright. The fishing boats returned from waters still sparkling in the light. You pointed toward a painted window covered with climbing vines, and laughed about a story told 100 different times. The sound of summer coffee cups and sunlight through the trees. These are the little melodies that stay with memories. The sound of summer coffee cups and waves beside the shore, the kind of music ordinary days are secretly made for. A cat slept near the cafe doorway, dreaming through the afternoon. The old radio played softly an easy-hearted tune. The hours drifted by so gently, no one cared to watch the clock, as sailboats traced wide lines of silver beyond the harbor dock. Life is rarely loud or grand, the sweetest things are small. A smile, a song, a summer day, and someone there through all. The sound of summer coffee cups still echoes in my soul, like pages from a favorite chapter that forever feels whole. Coffee and sunlight, summer and sea. The old radio beside the bar played songs from another year. A velvet voice came drifting out, so warm and crystal clear. The harbor rested in the dusk, The fishing nets were tied away, and golden clouds above the bay slowly closed the day. You leaned against the window frame, watching sailboats turning home. The evening wrapped around the shore like a blanket softly thrown. A little candle on the table made your eyes gently shine, and every note upon the air seemed perfectly aligned. The old radio by the sea keeps singing our favorite tune. Every melody remembers those peaceful summer afternoons. The old radio by the sea knows every smile we share, turning ordinary moments into memories beyond compare. The accordion joined the song as twilight painted every street. Children chased the fading sunlight down the harbor's cobbled feet. The cafe owner waved goodbye to the last guests of the day, but neither one of us was ready for the evening to slip away. Some treasures don't grow old, no matter how years pass by. A voice, a song, a summer breeze beneath a Mediterranean sky. The old radio by the sea still plays inside my mind whenever I remember you. The music starts in time. The old radio by the sea will never truly fade, as long as waves return to shore and love remains this way. The song goes on, the sea rolls on. There's a chair beside the window where the sunlight likes to rest. Every morning it grows golden, like an honored guest. The waiter never moves it, though many seasons pass, as if it holds 1,000 stories inside its weathered past. Sometimes I sit across from it and watch the harbor breathe, fishing boats and drifting seagulls moving with the sea. And though the chair sits empty, it never feels alone, for memories have a way of staying long after moments have gone. A song for the empty chair by the window near the sea, for every beautiful afternoon that helped create me. A song for the empty chair, still waiting in the light, like an old friend keeping company through every passing night. The radio hums softly, the cups still gently ring, and outside life continues with all its simple things. The baker opens every morning, the ferries come and go, yet some places in the heart remain, no matter where we roam. Not every empty chair means sadness, not every silence means goodbye. Sometimes they simply hold the shape of days that passed us by. A song for the empty chair, may it always stay a quiet monument to happiness that never went away. Sunlight falls, the harbor calls. Before the lanterns were lit, the harbor belonged to dusk. The sky carried shades of violet, and the sea carried trust. The fishermen had all returned, their work laid gently aside, and evening stood waiting patiently along the tide. You and I walked through the square as shopkeepers closed for the day. The smell of herbs and fresh bread still lingered on our way. A child chased a paper windmill down the cobbled avenue, and every little thing around us felt somehow made anew. Before the lanterns were lit, before the stars appeared, the world seemed suspended between wonder and years. Before the lanterns were lit, we had everything we needed. The sea, the sky, a quiet walk, and a heart completely seated. No orchestra was playing, no fireworks filled the air, yet beauty gathered everywhere. Without announcing, it was there. Perhaps that's how happiness works, not loud enough to demand, but gentle enough to remain long after we understand. Before the lanterns were lit, a perfect evening began, not with a grand event, but with your hand in my hand. Twilight falls, the sea grows still. Someone left a basket of oranges on the old seawall today. Their colors glowed against the ocean, bright as the month of May. The harbor stretched beyond the horizon, blue beneath the afternoon, and a distant radio was singing a familiar tune. We sat where the stone met the water, watching little boats go by. Clouds drifted slowly over mountains, far beneath the sky. The fruit seller crossed the promenade, waving to everyone he knew, and every ordinary detail seemed somehow fresh and new. Oranges on the seawall, golden in the light, like small reminders life is beautiful without even trying. Oranges on the seawall, simple as can be, yet somehow they belong forever to this memory. The sea breeze carried laughter from cafes down the shore, the kind of sound that makes a person want to linger a little more. The finest treasures aren't expensive, they don't glitter, they don't shine, they simply wait beside the ocean until the perfect time. Oranges on the seawall, still bright within my mind, like tiny suns that never set, despite the passing time. Golden fruit, blue horizon, summer remains. The lighthouse stood against the evening sky, watching over every passing sail. Its golden beam moved slowly through the dark, like an old familiar tale. You and I walked quietly below, along the path beside the sea. The waves repeated ancient melodies, carried by eternity. The harbor restaurants were filling up, lanterns hanging from above. The scent of rosemary and fresh baked bread mixed with the language of love. The moon appeared beyond the distant boats, a pearl upon the ocean blue, and every light across the sleeping bay seems somehow connected to you. Beneath the lighthouse glow, the whole world moved so slow. Every wave and every star following where our hearts would go. Beneath the lighthouse glow, the sea and sky agreed that happiness is often found in everything we need. A violin began to play nearby, the sound drifting through the night. The harbor shimmered like 1,000 dreams wrapped in silver light. You leaned your head against my shoulder as the evening settled in, and for a while there was nothing left to wish for once again. Some moments never really end, though years may come and go. They stay alive within the heart, like the lighthouse glow. Beneath the lighthouse glow, may we always find our way back to these peaceful summer nights, no matter where we stray. The light still turns across the sea. Lanterns hanging from the terrace roof, swinging softly in the evening air. The sea was turning silver blue, and you were sitting there. A little rain had passed before, leaving diamonds on the stone. The harbor smelled of salt and wood, and somehow felt like home. An old man tuned his clarinet near the corner of the square. The melody drifted through the night like a prayer upon the air. You laughed about a story told on a train so long ago, and every word you spoke to me made the evening brighter glow. Lanterns above the water, lighting up the quiet shore. Every wave reflects a memory worth remembering once more. Lanterns above the water, golden circles in the dark, like the little things we treasure, leaving light inside the heart. The coffee cooled between our hands, the moon climbed slowly through the sky. The fishing boats beyond the docks moved gently with the tide. No hurry in the passing hours, no reason to be anywhere, just your voice and distant songs floating through the summer air. Sometimes happiness arrives without a warning sign. A simple table by the sea, a peaceful night like this. Lanterns above the water, still dancing in my mind. Whenever life grows busy, I return to this sweet time. Lanterns above the water, glowing softly through the years, guiding every journey home, through joy and through the tears. The lanterns sway, the waves reply.